Cunts never talk about how on mouse and keyboard you have excessive amounts of pros over a controller.
Like
For
what,
example,
dude?
these are some things you can do on mouse and keyboard that you just can't on a controller.
Reacting to the console Copium dispenser, someone who has no idea
What complaining
what
about
they're
aim
talking
assist
about.
says about you. There's a high chance you're playing on a $2,000 PC
Already
running
wrong.
at
4K,
120 plus
SSD
frames per
storage is
second with an
expensive.
RGB keyboard and mouse using
do
the
have those,
exact
though.
settings that pro players are using.
Everyone
Yet
copies
you complain
settings.
about little Timmy
Mobile,
running at 20
Switch,
frames per
MNK,
second
controller, they
during
all copy
fights
settings
on
from
a
good players.
10-year-old console with severe stick drift fucking you up.
Find a
You use
controller.
scripts in your games to allow you to do advanced movements or unnatural
Wait a minute.
mechanics that are almost impossible to do without using script.
Unnatural mechanics that are almost impossible to do without using scripts. Like what? Tap strafing? Go into your settings, you bind W to scroll wheel up, and space, in this case jump, to scroll wheel down. Practice, and then Bob's your auntie, you can tap strafe.
Half of console players don't even know you cunts use scripts. They probably don't even know what scripts are, and that's
Bruh.
why you don't mention them.
These kids don't even know what aim assist is. They don't know about rotational aim assist and slowdown aim assist, but like, guess what? You won't teach them because you don't fucking know either. Or you know it's not good to explain because it doesn't, help your argument. It probably does really well, and this video proves it, to just sit here and lie to people and not educate them on these subjects. It's better to just lie and get views than to actually post the things that will help them understand what's going on. Like, you're helping feud this like console and PC war, and you don't even realize it's not even about that anymore. Because in this case, Apex, on console, you cannot play versus PC unless you choose to in a PC player's lobby as a friend, as a party member. I cannot, as a PC player, queue against console players in their lobbies. It's not a thing. So it's not even about console versus PC. It's PC controller versus PC mouse and keyboard, but you can't comprehend that, which is ridiculous.
You say aim assist should be removed from the game so that it's all about skill. Are you fucking dumb? Do you not
No, that makes sense. So it makes sense, but it's also dumb. Let me explain. If you want aim assist removed because it's not very skillful, that makes sense. What does aim assist do? It's artificial help to make an inferior input controller compete versus mouse and keyboard, the superior input that requires no assistance to do well. That is not very skillful to have a helping hand in the matter in a competitive video wago that's PvP based, competitive. Folks playing for millions of dollars and they're out here versing aim assist. That makes sense in that regard, but it doesn't make sense because there are greater implications, such as the casual audience, the folks that mostly play controller, being like, yo, F that, I do not want to get rolled by MNK when I'm getting off work to have fun in Apex. Which, mind you, there are much better ways to make Apex more fun, but Respawn won't do anything because lazy. It sucks. So it makes sense, but it is also dumb.
realize how analog sticks work?
Yes,
well, here's a little
center
lesson.
point. How
if
does
I have
mobile
my
work?
stick hard right
Does mobile
to
have a center
spin
point,
right,
or
I
do you
can
just go
literally start pushing that stick
roll,
left and
folks?
still be spinning right because I haven't
Posture
made it past
sucks.
the center point threshold yet, which will then allow me to start spinning left. You can move your
Almost
mouse
like
right, and as
controller's
soon as you
not
start moving
the
it left,
best.
your character is spinning left. You fucking idiot. You
And then enough. I want to say one thing. Like this person's making controller seem to be like the worst input ever. Like, oh, it's just so bad. And from the console standpoint, it's all you can use. You cannot plug in a keyboard and mouse into console and play Apex unless you get like a converter. Apex won't let you do that. Other games you can, Apex you can't. But why is it that on PC, a bunch of people use controller? And it cannot be because of preference. Preference does not outweigh what is just better in this scenario. It just doesn't. There's a reason they're doing that, especially at a high level in ALGS. Like, there's no like, hey, I prefer controller, so I'm playing a tournament for $2 million because I just like controller. It's not a preference thing. If mouse and keyboard was this godly thing, then they wouldn't be using controller in that tournament at all.
cunts never talk about how on mouse and keyboard you have excessive amounts of pros over a controller.
Like
For
what,
example,
dude?
these are some things you can do on mouse and keyboard that you just can't on a controller. Moving while looting, tap strafing.
Moving while looting and tap strafing. Are you trying to tell me that jumping is not movement? It's not the best movement, but it is movement. You can jump while actively looting a death box on controller, on console, and on PC. And tap strafing cannot be done on console as far as I know. Maybe in the future it will be, but right now it can't. On PC with controller, it 100% can be using Steam settings, which I don't believe are scripting, but it is using macros. What's the next one? What's the next amazing advantage that no one talks about?
Keybinds for using different med
Keybinds.
shields or equipment instantly without opening a wheel.
On controller, I can use heat shields and or mobile respawn beacons without opening a menu. And as far as the heal binds for mouse and keyboard, yeah, they help a little bit, but it's so small and insignificant that some players playing for millions of dollars right now don't even use them. They still use the heal wheel because it's not that big a deal. Is it better to use these binds? Yes. Does it also require more thought and just active engagement in the game to remember the binds that you've set? Yes.
Reloading while at a door, reloading while next to a down teammate, 10.
You can hold square to open door and tap to reload, or vice versa. But if you don't have that ability, guess what? You have the wrong setting. You have the one that makes it so when you tap reload, it also opens the door. Change the setting. Do some research, man. Now, reloading next to down teammate on console, I don't know if it's possible. On PC, it is. Buy a foot pedal. Get one that has two buttons on it, and you combine one button to push talk or toggle mute, and the other to reload on your keyboard. In my case, R.
Fingers to operate your controls as opposed to 2 to 4. Your entire
Wait.
fucking arm to aim faster and more.
You're a Muppet. You're an actual Muppet, bro. If you had your whole brain, you'd develop a better argument than that. You already discussed what the issue was. It's the center point. It's not that I have my arm versus your thumbs. It is the center point with analog sticks. So it's analog sticks versus a mouse. That is the difference. What does my whole arm have to do with that? I've seen folks who don't have their whole arm pop off on M and K. I've seen folks who have nubs pop off on controller. It's not thumbs versus arms at all. Educate yourself. Faster and more accurate death box looting. You know what they could do? Because it seems like you don't want to play games for yourself. You want the games to be played for you. How about they just add auto looting? It'd be a nice feature. It wouldn't be a big deal. But let's just add that so the game can loot for you so you don't have to do anything yourself. Yeah, Lucky Chappie, you have no idea what you're talking about. Some of the things that you say are, disadvantages, you could fucking change yourself like that. It's crazy. But hey, have a good day, bro. Catch you later. Peace.